네, 감사합니다. 다음 순서로는 BeSuccess, 항상 모두 성공하세요를 외치는 회사인데요. 이번에는 정현욱 대표님보다 조금 더 잘생긴 네이슨 밀라드가 발표해 주겠다고 합니다. 실리콘 통신원이 전하는 핫 뉴스, 박수로 모셔볼게요.
안녕하세요. 네이슨 밀라드 BeSuccess Global Director입니다. So I'm afraid for the rest of my presentation I'll speak in English. I'm starting Korean classes next week though, so maybe in a couple of weeks, a couple of months I'll be able to speak to you more in Korean. So as was introduced, the team from BeSuccess recently came back from Silicon Valley. We spent almost a full month there putting together our incredible Be Global conference. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and also talk a little bit about some of the things that we learned while we were in Silicon Valley and hopefully give you some useful information. So just a little roundup on what we're working on. As always, we're working very hard to improve the media in both English and Korean. I've also got a special announcement on that just a bit later on. We are also working, obviously, through Be Global and through other initiatives on our global networking and events. And we're looking to really strengthen our global networks to help all of you guys, Korean startups, to fulfill your potential on the global stage. So here's a few facts and figures about Be Global. I will make this presentation available for all of you to have. So if you want to send me an email later on, I can happily send this through to you. But I think we were all very impressed with the quality of attendees that we had this year at Be Global. The quality of startups was fantastic. We had some really excellent judges as well. And I think that generally speaking, the conference was a good jump up from last year in terms of quality. And I think it shows that Korean entrepreneurship is really moving up on the global stage. And I think that North America, Silicon Valley, is really beginning to take Korean entrepreneurship and technology from Korea and Asia much more seriously than before. Some people even said that our event was better than TechCrunch Disrupt. So we're very proud about that. So a few key takeaways from Be Global, the actual event. As I mentioned, I think that in North America, in Silicon Valley, Korea and Asia are really beginning to matter. People are taking Asian entrepreneurship, Asian technology very seriously, and I think there's a real desire to build a bridge between Korea and Asia and Silicon Valley. But I think that still the US doesn't know so much about the Korean market, so I think it's up to organizations like BeSuccess and also you guys to really promote what you're doing and reach out to North America. US VCs are definitely looking for new opportunities outside the US. We can see this by the influx of US investors to Korea. Obviously, you know, the huge investment in Coupang not so long ago, but also I think there's a real interest from the US in finding out about what new technologies exist in Korea and how they can engage with Korean startups. I think also with the beginnings of a tech bubble in San Francisco and Silicon Valley, US investors are also looking for better quality, higher value deals, and they're looking to Asia to achieve that. And a few little quick points about how you can find greater success moving to the US. Obviously, this was one of the themes that we had at Be Global. I think one of the key things before you invest any time or money into this is really to understand why you're doing it. Why are you moving to the US? Why are you even looking outside Korea? You know, pinning that down before you invest any time is really very important. It can save you lots of time and energy and build your success. And then once you do it, make sure that you do it 100%. It's no good just setting up an office in Silicon Valley and sitting back and waiting for the money to roll in. You have to really dedicate your time. Typically, at least a year for the CEO. You need to really spend most of that time for a year in Silicon Valley, and obviously there's a big price tag attached to that. Another common theme was that hiring the right people, as always, is absolutely paramount. If you don't have the right country manager, if you don't have the right team overseas in your subsidiary office, things probably are not going to work out very well. And this was a theme that kept recurring throughout the conference, really, even from the likes of LinkedIn and some of these larger companies that we had represented there. And then, so we did spend almost 4 weeks in Silicon Valley. And here's a few extra notes, and I'll probably have to run through this very quickly, looking at the time. But again, I'll make this available afterwards. So technology is really, truly a global phenomenon. Developing markets are now becoming more mature markets, and I think that in the same way that we are always talking about how Korean startups need to globalize, Silicon Valley is also realizing that it needs to globalize as well. It needs to consider markets beyond their traditional markets of North America, maybe Western Europe, and really look at Asia. And I think this offers great opportunities for Korean startups in the future, but also it means that you'll be competing with some of the best technology companies in the world, not just overseas, but also in your home market. We're seeing, Silicon Valley companies become, very interested in what's happening in Korea as a market as well. One thing that struck me was the fact that startups, guys in the Valley, they work smart. They do work long hours as well, like every startup all over the world, but they seem to work incredibly smart. Growth hacking is something that we came across very, very regularly, and I definitely don't have time to go into any of the details here, but I would highly recommend that you guys as startups really do some research on growth hacking and probably assign at least one person in your startup to growth hacking to do some research and build some of these strategies up. And I think that in many cases it's a trial and error to nail down growth hacking strategies, but it's really, really worth doing. And there's a long lineup of success cases of growth hacking and how it's really added to to speed up the growth of startups. The digital age has just started. I think this is something that we came across a number of times as well. Back in 2004 we had MySpace. That's completely disappeared. 10 years later it's Facebook. In 10 years time from now it will probably be someone else. And I think for Korean startups it could be you. KakaoTalk has still the potential to become a huge global success story. So I think it's encouraging for all of you guys to really try to be the next leader in your industry globally.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you.
Okay, I'll have to cut it shorter for next time.
Thank you very much.